Good evening and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see, RPG a Day 2020, Day 19. The prompt for today is Tower. So once again, I caught up. Um, I could have gone a lot of, I could have gone the easy way with this prompt and gone with the towers in Lord of the Rings. But to be honest with you, the first one that came to mind was uh, was Adventure Module C2, the Ghost Tower of Inverness. So even though I very vaguely remember this adventure, yeah, I had run through it once as a player, never ran it as a DM, and so it really didn't stand out to me other than a name, and I knew that was a connection to Tower that I, instantly made. So I grabbed up the PDF and here we will take a look at it. I won't give too much of a spoiler out for it in case you want to run this one yourself, but I remembered it. It was a fairly difficult adventure, back then. And then when I started looking it over, it refreshed my memory of some of the things that were in here. So here we have it, Dungeon Module C2, The Ghost Tower of Inverness, written by Alan Hammock, for character levels 5 through 7. 5 through 7 seems to be a very popular level range, and most of the adventures that were written for this level range were extremely dangerous for that level range. Until I went into and I started digging into some of the details of this adventure and realized, all right, this is why it was set up that way. So as you can see, levels 5 to 7. And this was originally a tournament module. And tournament modules are written differently than your regular campaign modules. So tournament modules such as the Tomb of Horrors, which was really designed to be a party killer. Tournament modules tend to be more dangerous than your regular modules. So this was written originally for a 1979 competition series, and here we go. We'll start digging into it again. So very simple dungeon. If you look at it, it's not that complex of a dungeon at all, and so I mean certainly not anything compared to mega dungeons that you see today. And they go in through the basic layout, what is it about and such. And here they tell you the difference between a competition module and then how to modify it for regular module play. So I found that was really interesting because now you start to understand why it was written in such a way. And the party size really struck me because it's written for a party size of between 5 and 10. And so if you're going to have 5 characters, they all need to be slightly higher level than even what this range says. But it should have up to 10 level 5 through 7 characters. So it's designed for a very large or powerful party to go through this thing. So as I was skimming through this and looking, so how to score a tournament play. So there's a scoring system, which I don't fully understand. I've never played a tournament play before, or at least it has been so many years. The last time I might have played in a tournament play was Gen Con 18, and I don't quite remember the gaming experience that I had. I certainly played my character there, but it's just too many years ago for me to remember exactly how it turned out. So they go into the tournament background and such. Like I said, I don't want to spoil this for you. One thing I remember, I mean, not specifically about this, but about adventures, some of the adventures written back in the time. And remember, this is first edition. Wandering Monster Table, this really struck me. Whites, 1 to 4 in appearing on a roll of 1. All right, so and this was for the upper ruins. If your party of level 5 to 7 characters ran into, let's say, the worst result possible you could have here is 4 whites. You're not leaving that combat without having several characters lose levels. And that's just simply the way that first edition worked. So to have a random encounter, of up to 4 whites is a pretty severe. I mean, even a horned devil is a heck of a challenge. So, to throw those in there, but to have 4 whites to deal with, that's huge. Very, very dangerous, and almost guaranteed that you went in there levels 5 to 7, you're not coming out levels 5 to 7. All right, and that's before you even dig deeper into it. Now, it does say in the description of this adventure that this adventure does not have a lot of combat. It has, and that's intentionally so. What it does have is it has puzzles. And that was a major feature in a lot of the more powerful and dangerous adventures back then. So Tomb of Horrors obviously had puzzles and traps and such. This has puzzles and traps and such. White Plume Mountain had riddles and puzzles and traps and such. So, and the one room that I do remember in this was the chessboard room. And I didn't remember quite the details of it, but I do recall being on the chessboard and having to go and try to figure this thing out. So I will just read very briefly. The crucible forces you out onto a 5 by 5 square that glows with a cold light. The other squares in this 40 by 40 room are gray, blue, green, and yellow. In the center of the far wall is a 10-foot wide passageway. In front of the opening, straddling 2 squares, stands an intricately detailed statue of a handsome man, 7 feet tall, wearing richly jeweled crown. His left hand is resting on the hilt of a long sword, and his right arm is outstretched, palm down, toward the center of the east wall, as if greeting or in warning. All right, and there was a whole thing about how to, figure out crossing this chessboard without getting killed. Obviously, there was another room with bugbears and a sarcophagus, and that's handouts were another. Visual aids were another very common thing, especially with tournament play. So this here is the chessboard room. Some more visuals. These are different levels of the tower. And then they have the tournament characters laid out here for you. List of spells for the magic user. It's some armor and weapons pricing here, so they might have introduced some unique armor or weapons that could be found in this location. Then it goes back to the adventure itself, and like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything. Obviously, a Medusa here, which is another very challenging and frightening creature to have to face. And then fire bats, which is a new creature added. Then there's the Dungeon Master's record sheet with each of the characters laid out here so that the Dungeon Master can keep track of all the characters in the group. Which is actually a nice little thing to have if you don't already do that for yourself, is to, just help the players keep track of some of those things. Time recording. This has to do with scoring, and like I said, I didn't read into it and try to figure out, because I would never have any intention of running it like that. Here we have the view of the Ghost Tower. And then the back cover. So let's just switch back. So as you can see, I mean, it's there are probably other adventures out there that I just didn't snap into my mind with the use of the word tower, but I mean other really famous towers that were kind of short, simple adventures. If you were running AD&D Conan adventure or Conan from TSR, they all have the Tower of the Elephant in it, or any of the other Conan game systems, whether it be Mongoose. I'm sure Mongoose, the first one, and I mean, you could certainly create the Tower of the Elephant for from Modiphius's Conan 2D20 system. That would be another tower that jumps to my mind, even before getting to Lord of the Rings towers. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm always happy to get caught up on these videos, so I do try to keep them a little bit short. And hey, just enjoy yourself out there with gaming, and try to stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. You'll have a great evening.